Double Diamond Crisis second semi-final match. Jesmon vs Azulongmon. Security setup. Digimon standby. Let's open the digital gates. Hatching, Kyarumon evolves into Gomamon, then into Sealamon for 1 cost. Turnover. Hatching, Yokomon evolves into Biomon, then into Bauhakmon for 2 cost. Turnover. Sealamon is moved out, and at 3 cost it evolves into one of the 12 Devas, Majiramon. Turnover. Bauhakmon is kept in the raising area, and at 3 cost it evolves into Savior Hakmon. Turnover. Hatching, Kyarumon evolves into Blukomon. Now at 3 cost, Majiramon will evolve into the Glacial Sorcerer, Hexablaumon. Turnover. Savior Huck decides to remain in the raising area, and at 3 cost, Hakmon is played. On play, the top 5 cards of the deck can be revealed and checked. 3, 4, and 5. There is unfortunately only 1 target. Jesmon is added to the hand. Turnover, and Blukomon will move out. Now first, Hexablau will go for security with Majiramon's inheritable. Since the opponent has no Digimon with evolution cards, it unsuspends. And with its own effect, on attacking, trash the bottom 2 evolution cards of one opposing Digimon, but there are currently no targets. Then, if your opponent has a Digimon with no evolution cards, Hexablau gains jamming for the turn. Security check. 5k, trashed on Sistermon Noir. And well, since the coast seems pretty clear, Hexablau will go for a second attack. Check, Bauhak, 6k, trashed. Now at 2 cost, Blukomon will evolve into Mojamon. Turnover. It's still a bit too risky for Savior Huck to emerge, and Hakmon can't attack, because with Hexablaumon's second effect, during all turns, the opposing Digimon without sources can't attack or block. They are frozen. But for 3 cost, Savior Huck will finally evolve into the Warrior of Salvation, Jesmon. Turnover. Active, draw, and hatching a Kyarumon. It evolves into Gomamon. Hexablau goes for security, unsuspending once more. Check. Biomon, trash, playing it safe. Hexablau decides not to go for a second attack. Instead, Mojamon will go for security. With its effect, during your turn, while your opponent has no Digimon with evolution cards, it gains jamming, so a jamming strike on the 4th security. Sistermon Blanc on 3k, trashed. Knowing full well that a Jesmon onslaught is coming next turn, Azulong decides to devote his resources to preparing his raising area. At 1 cost, Gomamon evolves into Sealamon. Then at 3 cost, it evolves into Chris Paledramon. Turnover. And finally, Jesmon emerges from the raising area. Even though Hexablau unsuspended to protect itself, Jesmon is about to show it that there's no escaping the fury of the Royal Knights. At 1 cost, he plays his signature option card, Judgment of the Blade. On main, one of your Digimon with Hakmon in its name or Royal Knight in its type can attack your opponent's unsuspended Digimon for the turn. Paying 1 cost, the target is of course Jesmon. And for another 1 cost, one of my other favorite tech cards for the Jesmon deck, Lightning Joust. On main, one of your Digimon gets plus 2k DP for the turn. Then if you have equal to or fewer security cards than your opponent, one of your Digimon gains security attack plus 1. So paying 1 cost, the plus 2k power boost is given to Hakmon, and the additional security attack is given to Jesmon. And with that, Jesmon attacks the unsuspended Hexablau. With Yokomon's inheritable, since it's attacking an opponent's Digimon, it gains an additional plus 1k. And with its own effects on attacking, it pulls Sistermon Blanc out of the trash, which now renders Bauhak and Savior Huck's inheritables live. Starting with Bauhak, an opposing Digimon with 5k DP or less is defeated. Mojamon is burned. And with Savior Huck, once per turn, unsuspend. And of course, let's not forget Jesmon's own second effect. Since another Digimon was played, it gets plus 3k DP and piercing, rising to 15k. And of course, Sistermon Blanc's on play for 1 draw. Despite its ability to freeze the opponent's security Digimon with jamming, Hexablau only has 11k on the opponent's turn, so it is completely obliterated. And of course now, Jesmon will pierce for 2 checks thanks to Lightning Joust. First check, no! Blue! Why do you always have to do this? Sora and Joe is now played for free from security. Second check, this better not be anything good. Alright, fine. We can take this just a Paledramon on 4K. Since Azulong's field is now wide open, Jesmon will go for a second attack. And since its Sistermon call is not once per turn, it now calls Sistermon Blanc from the trash. On play, memory +1. Another 2 checks with Lightning Joust. Just imagine Jesmon using a technique he learned from his predecessor, Gallantsmon. First check. No! What in the world is going on? I swear, guys, I do not rig these matches in any way at all, okay? And even if I did, blue is not even my favorite deck color. I wouldn't be doing this for blue of all decks. I'd be doing it for black, who needs it the most. But as you guys can see, my stupid freaking on-camera blue luck. Another Sora and Joe is played for free. Second check. Well, fortunately, it's just a Gizamon on 2K. Trashed. Since Hexablau is no longer on the field, Hakumon is free to go for security on its 2K DP. Final security check for Azulong. And it's Azulong himself on 13K. Hakumon is deleted. Well, at this point, there is seriously no way for Jesmon to end his turn without Digimon with no evolution sources on his field, so he's just going to set up an additional blocker in the form of Sistermon Blanc. On play, draw 1 card. Turn over, and Chris Paildramon moves out. And of course, at the start of the turn, with Sora and Joe, since the opponent has a Digimon with no evolution cards, they each give +2 memory, for a total of +4 up to 6. While Azulong now has a huge opening to descend onto the field, him appearing might not be the best choice. Instead, at 3 cost, Chris Paildra will evolve into another copy of Hexablaumon. Now that the Glacial Sorcerer is back on the field, all Sistermons are now locked from blocking and attacking. But unfortunately, at only 11k DP, it doesn't have the power to take out Jesmon, especially since it's gaining a 2k boost from Sistermon Noir. Instead, it goes for the final security. With its on-attack effect, it discards the bottom 2 evolution sources from Jesmon, leaving it with only Bow and Savior Hawk. And then activating Sora and Joe's ability. During your turn, when one of your blue Digimon attacks, you may suspend this tamer to trash the bottom 2 evolution cards of one opposing Digimon. The target, of course, is Jesmon, which now is left with absolutely no sources. With Gomamon's Inheritable, +1 memory, and with Kyaromon, 1 draw. Jesmon has no choice but to take it since all of his blockers are frozen. And the final card is Jesmon himself. How fitting. Although it has the same amount of DP as Hexablau, Hexablau currently has jamming, so Hexablau survives. Now the question is, what next? At 3 cost, Gomamon is played from the hand. At 2 cost, it evolves into Mojamon. Turn over, active, draw, and in raising, Yokomon is hatched. It evolves into Piomon. Now since Jesmon has been stripped of all of his evolution cards, he is frozen by Hexablau and cannot attack. But he refuses to let things end this way. Mustering everything he's learned from his Royal Knight predecessors, at 6 cost, he unleashes the style of Omega, evolving into Omegamon. 1 draw. On evolve, choose an opposing Digimon, and all opposing Digimon with that name are deleted. Of course, the name chosen is Hexablaumon, which is now obliterated off the field. Turn over. But unfortunately, at the start of the turn, both Soras and Joes must now trigger, bringing the memory from 5 up to 9. Active, draw, and in raising, Kyaromon is hatched. But at the very least, since Hexablau has been removed from the field, all 3 Sistermons become blockers again, because their effect triggers not only in response to Digimon with Hakumon in their name, but any Digimon with Royal Knight in its type, which goes perfectly with Omegamon himself. 2 out of the 3 Hexablau in Azulong's deck have already been sent to the trash, so let's see how this goes. First, at 3 cost, Moja will evolve into Majiramon. On evolve, the top evolution card is discarded from Omegamon, Jesmon is trashed. Gomamon's Inheritable reacts, giving back 1 memory. Now Kyaromon will evolve into Blukomon. But now, the time has come. Let the skies rumble and the thunder roar. For at 5 cost, the Digimon Sovereign of the East, Azulongmon, will descend onto his faithful servant, Majiramon. 1 draw. On evolve, the bottom evolution card is trashed from all opposing Digimon, there are none, and then 1 memory is gained for each opposing Digimon with no evolution sources. There are currently 4, memory +4 up to 6. Literally, a 1 cost evolution into Azulong. And since it gains security attack +1 for each opposing Digimon with no evolution sources, it's currently attacking for security attack 5. So if its hit connects, it basically defeats the opposing player twice. But unfortunately, since it's not Hexablow, it can't stop the sister mons from blocking. However, it has this. At 3 cost, Azulong plays the option card, Howling Memory Boost. On main, trash 2 evolution cards at the bottom of one opposing Digimon, then one of your opponent's Digimon with no evolution cards cannot attack or block until the end of the opponent's next turn. The target chosen is the upper Sistermon Blanc. It can no longer block. And how about another shot of Howling Memory Boost? This time, the second Sistermon Blanc is chosen, so none of them can block. With that, Azulong goes for the final blow. With Majiramon, its faithful servants inheritable, since the opponent has no Digimon with evolution cards, unsuspend. Jesmon still has 1 blocker remaining, Sistermon Noir. But in the face of the Sovereign's almighty power, she is simply destroyed. And finally, Azulong attacks. Jesmon has no blockers that can block and no remaining security. It's a direct attack and the match is over. The winner, completely unexpectedly, is Azulongmon.